everyone watching, this is an extract from a hero call. The question was about triggering an update and having it automatically in your script, check for an update, and then be able to trigger it and relaunch and launch, get the download and relaunch the new version of it. And it's a crazy
Right.
complicated process. So Isaias is going to kind of outline how he solved that.
Okay. So basically, you need two parts to this infrastructure. One of them is a place where you can check for the latest version, right? Usually that's a website or something online that is public that your script can look at and look what the latest version is to make the decision whether to get the new version or not. Usually, and let me share my screen, a very simple way of doing that is by what AutoHotkey does. So AutoHotkey, when you go to the download other versions, you can look at this page, right? And at the bottom of the page, you will see this one file called version.txt. This is an online file. So if your script can get here, you can look at the current version. You can compare it to whatever you have right now. And if they're different, then you can download the name of the other new version, right? So that's a simple way of doing it. So if you have an infrastructure in which is a website that you control and you make that folder public, and in that folder you have a version.txt and the files that you can download, it's an easy setup. It's not that hard. Now, on the side of the script, there is a weird situation going on. If it is a script, if it is an AHK script, when you double click on the script, it gets loaded into memory. What that means now is that you can delete the file, but the script will continue running, or move it, or do whatever you want. And that's basically not a big deal because it is in memory, and updating a script like that is easy. You just download the new version, replace the script on your computer with file move, file copy, however you want to do it, and that's it. And now restart the script and you're good to go. Simple as that when it is an AHK file. If it is not an AHK file and it is an executable, now you get a little bit into an annoying problem. Executables, when you double click them, they get sort of locked. And that's where I had a little bit of an issue. Because now, if you want to download a new version and replace the one that is running, Windows is not going to let you do that because the script is running, right? So what I did, let me share my screen once more. A long time ago, that was the script object, which is the one that you kind of like referred to. Oh, that's annoying. Hold on, give me just a second here. That is because Dropbox is doing a lot of annoying things right now. Give me just a second here. Script object, right click, make offline. Make available offline. Okay. Did it download? Oh, there we go. Okay, so at that time on the script object, I had created a little bit of a script that it created what is called a log file so that I know whether my script is running or not. I will stop my script, do the update, and then relaunch the script. And it is tricky because which ones do you do first? Let me show you what I mean. It is so hard to explain just with words. So I had the part, as I mentioned, whether there is a new version available. I just had a function to confirm that. Download the file. So if there was a new version, then I would download the file. Now, once I downloaded it, I had this function called update. What it did is that It downloaded the zip file, all right? It extracted the file. So I downloaded the file, extracted it. And now here's where it becomes, it creates, it's hard to explain. If it was a normal AutoHotkey script, like AHK file, I would create another script. I will file append that temporary script. It will look for a file, and while that file was there, it will do nothing. So I had to wait until the file was deleted, because while that file is not deleted, my script was working. And while it is working, I could not actually copy stuff. That's it. So basically, I had to create a temporary script that basically waited for a file to be deleted. And that file is deleted right down here. See that? So once I finish up with the script, I run the temporary script. And wait for the file to be deleted before I try to copy stuff. And that's why Joe was saying, like, that's crazy. And funny thing, this is with an AHK file. If it was an executable, I couldn't actually do this. So I had to create a batch file, which was different. So in the batch file, I would do something similar. I would wait 2 seconds, check for the file to be there. If the file was still there, it would go to the lock location. So this is effectively a loop, and I'm just looping. And when it actually didn't find it anymore, then it skipped to the continue line. That's where I would do the copying. Crazy, but that's what I had to do. Interestingly, I found another way to do this. And it is I would say is weird that you can do this. The new way of doing this, let me make sure that I have the files, because Dropbox is going to say that I don't have them. We did this for a client. And for this client, we had one of the projects. And here we have this guy. Okay, so I do have it. Okay. So for this particular code, I did something similar. Again, the main idea is the same. We check for updates. However you prefer. Simplest way is calling a website, looking at the version numbers. So that's it. And if there is a new version, then we can just go ahead and call this update function. This one, what it does is it does get the URL. So it gets the file, is downloading the file. Once the file is actually downloaded, then it does this weird thing. And this is the one that I didn't know you could do. You cannot copy or replace an executable while it is running, but you can definitely move it or rename it whatever you want. So, for example, if you have script.exe, right? You can, while it's running, you can right-click on it, rename it to script.old if you want. And that's something that I didn't know you could do. Later, when I took a little time looking at that, then I realized, yes, you can do it. So that's what I do. I first rename the running script, even if it is an executable. I rename it to something else, and I wait until that file exists. So when I rename it, I'm just waiting until the rename happens. And then from there, I go ahead and copy the file that I just downloaded. I got the file from the internet, and I copy it into the correct spot, which is right here. This is just a way of unzipping a file with AutoHotkey. We just unzip something. We just connect to the shell, go ahead and copy the files from here to there. And once I do the copying, I finish and reload my script. So it is a different method. Hopefully this makes some sort of sense, but the trick here, if you look at all what I'm doing, it looks complex, but the trick is I move the file first into a different name, and then I download the other one and put it where the script was originally. That's the trick. Everything else is just there to make sure that my copying file is stable enough that if something unexpected happens, at least I notify the user that I couldn't do something, right? That's all. So, but the trick is just renaming the file and downloading it from somewhere else. In my case, I'm not using the download function. I'm actually doing something else, which is grabbing a stream that we're getting from a different website because of some constraints that we had in the computers that we're using. But if you want, you can change this line to something like download, the URL that you want to download to file name, right? So you can use the download function instead, if you can do it. In my case, I couldn't definitely do this. Sometimes the download function is blocked by certain servers, specifically because of the user agent. The download function seems to use an older user agent, and you cannot change it. So I had to use the WinHTTP request, which gives me the flexibility of changing the user agent to whatever I needed to. And in this case, the server that I was downloading from just blocked the download function. I just modified it to this and it worked, right? So you probably don't need the download function itself. So what we can do, I don't know, Joe, if we can do this, we can create a little bit of a download or something that we can share with you guys so you can play with the code. And yeah, it is. And if you have any questions, Paul, or anything that you want help with, I can just try to answer those.